I was in Saint-Tropez working with Louis Malle on the Thief of Paris, Le Voleur, which is a film not very known by Louis Malle, but one of my favorites. It's a dark, somber film, but very good. And I was with Louis, we were just finishing the script, and I received a letter from Buñuel in Saint-Tropez, and saying, "Hello, Jean-Claude, how are you? Listen, I have accepted for the brother Hakim, two producers, to realize from the Joseph Kessel novel, Belle de Jour. Would you like to work with me on this project?" So I told Louis and the other friends who were there, but we told me, but it's such a bad book. What is Louis going to do with this? I mean, it's a very banal story of prostitutes, and he shouldn't do that. I have refused, said Louis to me, to do it, and many other French directors. Buñuel cannot make Belle de Jour. It sounds. So I said yes, but listen. In his letter, there was a very mysterious phrase saying, "Well, between you and me, writing Buñuel, it's just a story of whores. It looks like, but could be based on a very secret relationship between the super ego and the it, which is, Freudian language." So I knew that when Buñuel was using Freudian language, it was always slightly ironic, So why Buñuel is going to put Freud and how in Belle de Jour? So I said yes, and I went to Madrid a few weeks later, and to work. And as usual, with Luis, we worked both half in Spain and half in Mexico. We did at least 3 different versions of every film, 5 for the Discreet Charm, and until we were completely satisfied, And so I was ready to come and go again for months and months. But the work was quite easy, because we found at one moment, before the beginning of the writing, due to Paco Rabal, the Spanish actor, who was a very attractive man, and who was, I don't know how to say fuck without saying fuck, fucking around a lot. And he knew many, many girls, and everybody in Madrid took us to some brothers, Buñuel and me, to visit and talk with the girls, and especially with the madame, with the lady. To get some information about the fact, are there some women from the bourgeoisie who are coming to your place to do some work, incognito? And she said, yes, it happens that sometimes a woman who needs money, at the end of the month she comes here for 1 day, 2 days. So we got some information. A friend of mine, a journalist in Paris, I asked him to make, with 2 or 3 other journalists, a sort of inquiry about this phenomenon, of women from the bourgeoisie going to brothels to make what we call a passe in French, And so after this preparation, innocent from outside, we start working, and we realized, but immediately, the first day, that the film needed, that this character called Séverine in the film needed another dimension that does the fact to go and make love and go back to his house, and that she needed to have some visions, some fantasies, some, you would say in English, some daydreams, that would help, that she would be compelled to fulfill. You understand what I mean? That's why we looked immediately for what could be Severine's, fantasies. And we didn't dare or inventing ourselves, because we were men. So we asked some women all around us, and I asked this journalist to ask some women, what are your sexual fantasies? We didn't dare. Two men have no right to decide what's a woman's fantasy. If not, the film becomes, something completely false, completely tricked. And so we selected some fantasies. All the fantasies which are in the film have been told to us by women, all of them. The more we went, the more we realized that, and that was quite interesting to work on, that the normal life, the daily life of Séverine, with her relationship with her husband, are completely false. They're not real at all. It looks like a very bad novel, what we call a railway station novel, but everything which comes from a fantasy is real. In other words, it was like, reversing the usual process, that what is considered in the film as real is not. What is considered in the film as invented is real. You understand what I mean? That's the we never told anybody until today that the film is based on this. That's the secret of Belle de Jour. That the women, when appears a fantasy, a daydream, an image, some women feel directly concerned by this. You understand what I mean? They don't think that's an invention of the Mr. Buñuel and Mr. Carrière, not at all. And of course, there is nothing of this in the Joseph Kessel novel. And that's we work a lot on this. We work also with some psychiatrists, and just to ask the storytelling itself was very simple. The storytelling of the script, there was nothing, just to adapt the book to keep the main structure of the action in the novel. But this dimension was very difficult to reach, and also not to lose our empathy, our sympathy with Séverine, not to lose her. And it was quite difficult with Catherine Deneuve at the beginning to understand that, what I'm telling you, because she thought she was working with a great famous director, and she did really not understand what he was trying to do. And they had, with Jean Sorel, they had even tried to rewrite the dialogue in real life, to make them more interesting. And of course, Buñuel rejected. There was a little conflict at the beginning. Then it went very well, and they made another film together, Tristana. But that's the secret of Belle de Jour, which I'm revealing today. Finally, it's this. I think I never told anybody. It's this one. Yeah. Buñuel has always put, it's some of, not in all his films. There is nothing like this, for instance, in Diary of a Chambermaid. Some dreams, some daydreams, some fantasies, and he was known for that, For instance, he had answered once, he told me himself, laughing, to a Mexican producer who had read one of his scripts and said, well, it's a little short, maybe. No matter, I said, we'll put a dream. So he liked it, but he liked very much, and he knew very much how to keep a distance, between, like in the, I don't know if you remember the Exterminating Angel. There are some dreams very beautiful and terrifying in it, very mysterious, But there were also Buñuel's dreams, It was it's very difficult to put aside, what's real and what's not real in some of his films, including Belle de Jour sometimes, because there is a scene in Belle de Jour, the scene when she goes to a castle, in the countryside and meets a sort of aristocrat, played by Georges Marchal. That scene could be real or unreal. And we did 2 attempts, during the editing. He had shot a short scene when the secretary of the Duke was coming to the brothel to ask for her to come to the castle. That would make the scene real. You know. So finally it took off, you know, that short scene. So to give to each spectator the possibility to accept the scene as real, or to watch that scene as another daydream of Séverine. The buzzing box is an old story, you know. The first question, what's in the buzzing box? As if we knew it. It's when you see the film, it's obvious that the authors don't know. You know, asking what's in the buzzing box it's a stupid question. Once Buñuel answered, you know what's in the buzzing box? No, there is a photography of Jean-Claude Carrière, and it's so awful that the horse they go like this. Sometimes he would say that the script is in the buzzing box, you know. That's many different answers, you know. And one day, I received a long time. Buñuel was dead already. I received a telephone call by a man I didn't know, and he said to me, "Are you Monsieur Carrière? Yeah, you wrote the yes." I wanted to ask you a question. Did Monsieur Buñuel sometimes go to Laos, to the country of Laos? I said no. Are you sure? I'm sure. He never went to Asia at all, and he used to say the furthest I went to the east is Paris. No, so Laos, no question. Why? I said, because there is a Laotian habit in the film. Which one? The little box. And I said to the man on the phone, so you know what's in the little box? Of course I know. I don't remember what it was, something with insects, you know, that you used to put on in such a place when you make love with a woman. You know, I don't know what it is, but... So it means it's a place, in like the bag in another film, where any spectator can put whatever he wants, you know. Your grandmother, you know. It has to be repulsive, because they say, no. But to Séverine, she says yes. Very successful, yeah. He won the prize in the Venice Film Festival and was a great success all over the world. For instance, my wife right now, which is much younger than me, so much better for her, is Iranian. At that time, she was when Belle de Jour was that was in the Shah time regime. You know, Belle de Jour was released in Iran. Her mother told her, "You can go." She was 14. You can go and see this film, but Belle de Jour, no. She went immediately to see Belle de Jour, of course. Yeah. It was a huge success, and still is. Martin Scorsese, who loves the film, did a re-releasing about 5-6 years ago of the film in America and went in the theaters, and it went very well. It is considered as an erotic film, but Buñuel didn't show anything, not even a tit, nothing, absolutely nothing. But everything is indicated. You know, some allusions are made to sodomy, to a lot of things. You know, you have to be careful too. But as a matter of fact, when you see the film, you don't see anything. You don't see an ass. You don't see never. But that was made purposely, of course, by Buñuel, of course. He wanted to make a film about the deep mysteries of sex, but without showing sex itself. One of the reasons of the success, the lasting success of Belle de Jour, all over the world, in many different countries, is due to this secret. You know, that you want to try to find out, to clear up that secret, and you cannot. Because sex is mystery, by definition, you know. As we put one day in a conversation with Buñuel, yes, sex is the #1 social mystery, because a king, love and sex respect nothing. A king can fall in love with a shepherd, with a little girl, and also with a little boy. you know. So there is no, absolutely no order. Sex is disorder by definition, and always a danger for a society.